Hey guys, what's up? I'm doing a quick showcase of a cool setup I have here for my Invoker Monk here in Act 2. The goal is that eventually we'll change this in this build later on to a Flicker Strike build late game. I haven't figured that out yet, so in the meantime I'm going to be doing this with Charge Staff. And Charge Staff is a buff that I feel like a lot of people kind of sleep on. It takes a little bit to get going because it requires a power charge. However, there is a very easy way we can do that. So right now for Charge Staff, the two buffs I have on here is going to be for Persistence and Perpetual Charge. And the way we're going to be generating our power charge is Siphoning Strike. There it is. So you dash to a target. If they have shock on them, it gives you a power charge. Awesome. So what I have on here is I just have Martial Temple, and the other thing I have on here is Execute. I mean, you don't really need that. You can have anything in here. Real big thing is Martial Tempo, just to make it a little bit smoother. Feels nicer to use with Martial Tempo. You can move this off later when you're not going to be using this ability later late game. But for now, that's what I have it set on. The next thing I need is to get them with a shock state. So the way I'm doing that is Storm Wave. Um, I have Lightning Infusion on this and Conduction. Um, Essentially, just Conduction is the only thing that really needs to be on here. Hold up. Side note, forgot to show my passive tree. Only two things to key note for this because I'm kind of all over the place, so I wouldn't really exactly follow what I'm doing. But first thing first is one with Storm. This is over here on the side. Quarterstaff skills that consume power charge count as consuming additional power charge. This is very critical for keeping this buff active and keeping it less of a headache and less of a hassle to keep it running. Essentially, it's just going to keep the buff longer. The other thing that can make your life a little bit easier, I have this. Maybe it's not 100% needed. 30% increased chance for a shock, which is nice. And if not, you can kind of go over here. You can easily get more over here. So actually, I might be specking out of that a little bit later and putting these points here. That's what I probably should be doing. And that will make your life a little bit easier to get down to shock. So you're going to be easier to get those power charges and keeping the buff active the entire time. That's it. Oh, and down here you have melee. What do I have? +2 to melee strike range. It's nice. So what it ends up looking like is you go in there, you start with your Storm Wave. Once you get your Storm Wave, you switch over to Siphoning Strike, proc that. You grab some power charges, and then from there, all you're going to do is use the buff. And I like to double stack it, so I always have this buff in the ready. So as soon as I use Charge Staff, I try to get power charges again, and then I'll stack a few more. And the buff lasts about almost 30 seconds, so you have plenty of time to do that, and always keep one in the chamber for emergency use. So you can pretty much keep this buff permanently on while you're fighting, and you shouldn't really have any issues. This is great for clearing mobs, and also the buff just looks really cool. So anyways, that's just I'm just gonna keep it short. That's the build I'm rocking right now. I'm probably gonna keep it until late game, and I'll let you know if I come up with anything else.